each and every muscle as if it were a single string on a ballet set. When you learn how to play them individually, you'll know how to play them together.
All right. You still look taller than me. I don't like that.
Because you shortened your thing.
Oh, and it's because
You
that's
can raise it up
slanted.
because you raised that up. That's
Yeah,
better.
that's a little better. I need to be a lot taller. I don't want to be that much
I
shorter.
can't lower mine, so either you gotta go.
I'm supposed to say welcome everybody. This is one of the, I don't know what I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm doing. Professional. So I have a couple of things I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
Usually I might not go through all of them because things go off in their own tangent and I like that. So I'll try to speak through this. So when you face
Okay.
and we speak. My first thing that I wanted to ask you is, first of all, who are you and how did you find out about me? I think it's important for everybody to understand some of the people that come in here, that I actually know you, you're a client,
Yeah.
and how did that happen?
Yeah, it's definitely been just kind of happenstance kind of thing.
Yeah, put up a flyer.
Yeah, you put up a flyer, and I was new to the area, so I was looking for a trainer. I've always been active, so do all kinds of different types of activities, whether it's rock climbing, surfing, paddling, a million different things. So I need somebody who doesn't put me in a pigeonhole
Yeah.
like a lot of trainers do. They have their one style that they do and they train for one specific thing. And so I was looking for somebody who is well-rounded, went to your website, appreciated that you don't allow shoes in your gym, and that's what made me call.
That's interesting. Because usually, honestly, that was the first thing that some people were like, but what if you drop the weights on my feet? I was like, what?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I grew up in Kentucky, so I don't wear shoes, right?
Okay. So you appreciated what was going on with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I understand just, the importance of rooting and being able to actually like use the tactile parts of your feet to understand whatever is going on with the rest of your body.
Well, part of the thing that you're not saying is that you're also a dancer.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's a
the thing.
big thing, and you've been doing it for some time. It's not like you just said, hey, I'm 19 and I want to be a dancer. It's since you've been a kid, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I definitely grew up dancing.
What kind of dancing?
Did all kinds of ballet.
Okay.
I'm not going to show. And
Let's clear, because when I hear dancing, sometimes I'm kind of like, what kind of dancing?
You should be skeptical.
Yeah, I'm like,
That's the thing.
You mean pole or not that there's
Especially
anything wrong with that?
here, but
Yeah. Okay.
So did ballet, jazz, hip hop, dance team through middle and high school.
Okay.
And then later in life got really into improv dance and more partner work where you really listen to the energy of the other person and figure out how to move in the moment depending on what they're doing. And how do you then take that information, turn it into movement for yourself that works with them and also creates this beautiful moment.
You never told me that, by the way. See, people don't tell me stuff.
Full of surprises.
That actually makes a lot of sense now why my training suits you more so than most, because you have more of an intuitive connection to what I'm teaching than most do. And I noticed that, but now you've kind of given me some more information that gives me a better understanding, because you have to flow instinctively and immediately with what you're perceiving and what's happening in the moment.
Yep.
And so you have to adjust and be able to move creatively, let's say, but yet fluid and still have some sort of structure to your movement. So this is very interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and for me, it's also about having to support not only your weight, but somebody else's weight. So you have to understand that whole kinetic chain, going back to why the whole barefoot thing is really important to me.
Yes.
because you have to understand that there's information coming from the ground too. It's not just the other person or just yourself.
That's interesting you say that, because when I first started training and told people, you got to take your shoes off. I need you to ground yourself, get connected. Later on, over the course of a couple of years, I started seeing other practitioners start discussing, hey, yeah, I train without my shoes. But I really, as I watched most of what they were doing, I recognized that it was just a fad thing. There wasn't a true connection on why. Why am I doing this? They may have read a book on it, but I recognize, and you can recognize someone who has connection by not only how they speak about it, like you just did, but how they move and how they say, okay, this is connecting, and you're pressing through, or you're moving through, and you're pulling energy from. Those terminologies, I think, indicate better what I do connects with you. Oh, so okay. So the thing is, yeah, trust me, my brain, if you were in here, you'd be like, dude, stop. Please stop. So you came to my place just on a whim. You saw my flyers that I put up that I wasn't going to put up because I didn't think anyone was serious, and I did it anyway. And we've been training for a while now. Now, when you first came in, the big thing was you had scoliosis.
Yep.
And how is that whole thing? Because I think people need to understand really what it is and what doctors are like, and what most of them say you need to do as opposed to what we did. So I want your story first to go further.
It's been an interesting journey with scoliosis because every doctor says something different. You know, I grew up, I think I found out I had scoliosis because they line all the kids up in the gym and they make you bend over and they track your spine and say, oh, you've got scoliosis, and do this across the whole school.
Okay.
So after that, I was, identified as one person that had it, and went to I think it started out with orthopedic doctors. They went basically straight for surgery options. When I was in middle school.
Wait.
I think it was.
You mean, hold on, they were gonna do what? Surgically.
Well, okay, so first they wanted to try a back brace. So they wanted to just fully immobilize it. And I talked to my mom about this. Like, we had conversations about this as a middle schooler.
I'm sorry. Okay, they want to immobilize you. Okay, that's genius. That's
right.
Wow.
Just put a back brace on it.
Just atrophy everything.
Yep.
Okay.
If that doesn't work, then we're gonna go straight for surgery. And they wanted to do 6-month check-in. So.
What was surgery gonna comprise of? Were they
not
putting
100%
pins? Okay.
Sure, because we didn't explore it beyond
just the words.
that conversation.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, my family was very much into just homeopathic healing, that kind of stuff, and wanted to avoid surgery if at all possible.
Yeah.
So I started going to chiropractors. It was kind of a chicken or the egg conversation. So some people blamed my hips, and they really wanted to focus on like the tilt of my pelvis. And so they would use trigger points in my back to try and fix that. But nothing really worked until I got older. I just kind of tried to figure it out on my own through yoga and understanding that I needed some one-sided exercises, but I never really found like the thing.
Was it getting worse as you were getting older, or was it kind of pretty much the same?
I think it was staying about the same.
Okay.
It had definitely gotten worse like throughout high school, I think.
You're
But then
missing
as an
something here.
Adult.
You're missing something.
Oh, I am.
You are missing.
But no, I'm not really missing anything.
So you're going to go back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
As I got older, started getting more into yoga, started surrounding myself with all kinds of healers and people that understand childhood trauma and all of that kind of stuff. One person that kind of knew my medical history and was really close with me brought up the idea that, when I was 3, I had a kidney removed.
Okay.
on my left side. And that's the side that has atrophied in my back because my right side compensates so much.
Yes.
So that was another element to the chicken or the egg conversation. You know, is it the hips? Is it the kidney? Is it the back? Who knows? I just wanted
Yes.
it fixed because I...
Yes, the answer is yes.
Right.
That's really what the answer is, yes.
Well, and I also think just, you know, because I'm so active and because your body is amazing at compensating, doing all of the things I did for so long, my right side had built up and just reinforced that that's the way that my body's going to operate.
Beautifully said.
So then I started going to new chiropractor and training with you kind of around the same time, which was really beneficial because one, we could measure success, but
Yes.
then talking to you and having, you know, your artist eye and really understanding things are not straight and here's what's, you know, compensating, here are the angles, and here's what's going on with the other parts of your body in specific movements and when you're just standing, walking, normal day to day kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So then we were able to really focus in on some movements that could help build my left side up. And through that, I've been able to see a massive improvement in bringing the spine back to neutral.
That's interesting, actually, because everything you said about the kidney and the 3 different possibilities or what have you is very interesting because people don't look at it as yes. They look at it as one or the other or the other. And that always astounds me that is your take on a thing that, oh, it's this. It's like, is it?
Well,
Is it
and this
really?
is also the one time that a root cause conversation doesn't really help. Like, I can't go back and get another kidney.
We're putting it back.
Right. So all I can do then is address what I'm working with.
Yes.
Right. So then we understand the right side's pulling and it's
Yes.
built up more. So
Yep.
what if we try to do that on the left side and work with what I have today as opposed to going back, getting myself a new pelvis and a kidney and saying we're done?
Yep. Well, one of the things with regards to that is that you were saying is the benefit is that you had that chiropractor who was measuring, because that really gave us an idea of what was happening. And you said something because the first time you came in, you said I'm 7 degrees corrected, and I said, oh, that's great, it's working. And you didn't tell me something, which is that you stopped with the chiropractor
Yeah.
to see how much my training was actually helping, because you've got to figure out which one is doing what.
Yep.
And in a short period of time, you came back and you're like, yeah, it's still 3 degrees. It's done 3 more degrees. So yeah, it's you. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
great, thank you. I appreciate that and thank you for that, because a lot of times I don't measure things because I'm so into my art that I'm just happy to see the progress. And to me, it's funny because I see the smallest changes and tiniest little progress, and when you mess up. And so for me, I'm happy because I'm like, yeah, it's getting there. Okay, this is this. Like when you sculpt, and as a sculptor, you see something. When I was drawing in college once, I was doing a mural. And, you know, when you start drawing the mural and painting, it looks horrible. I mean, it looks a mess. And people would come by and say, oh, what are you doing? It looks horrible. Literally, they would say this. And so I was just like, okay, So I put on some headphones, turned it up so I can hear no one from that day forward. And as it got more completed and more completed, people, wow, that's amazing. Oh my goodness, I didn't know. It made me realize something that people see. I see the progress different. But I do need to measure things so that individuals can see the growth for themselves, so they understand that they actually did get better.
I do think that's important, but there's also something else that sticks out in that story, and that's about like how do you tune out those voices in your head or from other people,
Yeah.
and stay focused on that end goal, right?
Yeah.
Because you were still able to visualize what it was going to turn into,
Yeah.
and close out, what through headphones or whatever you've got to do to say, that's not important. I'm going to trust my instinct. And continue moving through the motions that you knew needed to happen in order to produce this beautiful mural. And I think that's so applicable to training or
It is.
anything else in life. Like, you've got to know what you want out of it, but you've also got to put in the work and not worry about whatever happens in the meantime.
Well, to me, one of my best clients, and you're one of them, my best clients, Nikki, you, a few others I won't mention, go into names, but you guys trust me. And I found that is when I can do my best work. It's kind of, once again, back to art. Everything for me goes back to art. It's like I have a pen or pencil and paper or wall or what have you. The wall really has no say-so. It gives me feedback with the bumps or the little things. So it may have a little imperfection in the paper or the wall, and I have to work with that. So I gain feedback, which is another thing I want to get back to with you, and the way I train, and people need to understand this clearly. The way I train is really a team effort. It's not. I do say I'm a dictator. I am a dictator to a degree, but I'm benevolent, and I ask a lot for you guys to give me feedback on what are you feeling? Really, is it here? Is it there? Pause when this and that, because I don't feel what you feel. I see, and I can see adjustments, and I can understand because I've done it so many times myself that I know what's going on to a degree. But I'm still not you. There are little things that may be tighter on you or looser on you, like when we do stretching and you're all over Gumby, all over the place. I'm like, don't you feel that? And you're sitting, no, I have to do this and my head and move mine, twist my leg, and I'm, okay, do what you gotta do, but this is kind of where I want you to get it. You have a more intuitive connection than most clients that I have. I have to fight to get to where you already are when you came to me, even though it's funny looking at the old videos of you. I'm like, ooh, I forgot how bad you really were.
Yeah.
I honestly, when I see some of them that I took, I'm just like, wait a minute. She wasn't always like this. She did start at this. Okay, interesting. But it makes me feel good at the same time because
some people don't understand the benefits that you can actually gain from this type of training because they're so used to being told that they have to jump higher or, do the whatever they do, but then they don't have the foundation to actually do those movements.
Exactly.
So a lot of people that I personally know, they just want the fast-paced movement. They just want to, get to quick results or whatever. And so they're not the client for you.
No, it's easier.
It's not that you're not the trainer for them. I think they're not the client for you, which is...
It's very different.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with that actually. I'm very, very okay with that. I've had those clients where I had to sit back and say, okay, you gotta go. Because I had a baseball, way in the beginning, I had a mom bring both of her baseball kids in. And they weren't kids, they were getting ready to go to college or something. And they were supposedly really good, gonna get picked up. And they came by. Now, how I train is, when everyone comes in, I give you a little workout, right? A little assessment is for me to see where you guys really are, where your weaknesses and strengths are, and see your stability and where your head's at, and see if this is even a fit for me. And I realized that these kids were really talented, but I found out later, because they never came back, the mom never came back, the person who recommended me said that she thought the training was too easy. And I said, oh, So the assessment was too easy. So I am supposed to just throw weights on people I know nothing about. I know nothing about really where the injuries are, the hidden injuries. I'm just supposed to run in and, okay, cool. So I immediately learned that there are people who already have this preconceived notion because of the media and what have you, that, oh, more weights is better. I was like, not necessarily. So if that were the case, powerlifters and bodybuilders would be the elite athletes on the field, and it's not. The guy who lifts the most in the gym is not necessarily and usually not the best guy on the field, the court, or anything. So the reality for me is you have to nuance the body. It's kind of like someone giving me a sculpture, it's already done. And I'm like, okay, it's got a couple of chips here, so I got to smooth it out. So I have to now take it and refine it and finish it off and make it the most it can. I don't go in and start chopping off limbs and putting on all kinds of clay. Oh no, it's got to be bigger. No, I go in and I recognize, okay, this is well done already for the most part. It's here, your feet. Something's going on with your feet. One guy, football guy, his big toe was wrapped around his other toe, and he had shooting pain up his hip and his back and all that. Carlos Dansby. Anyway, so he came in and I said, "What's?" Because I had barefoot training. He kept talking about it's his 4th year and he's having all this pain. He can barely move. He can only go in, a play or two at a time before he has to come out and what have you. And I looked at his feet. I said, hey, it's your foot, man. It's your toes. Your toes are all curled up and crunched up. It can get fixed by me, but it's going to take a lot longer than you have. So you need to find someone. And he went to someone surgery. I said, nothing. Don't do surgery. So he found another individual who's a trainer. I won't go into him. I like him. And he has this machine that actually worked on his feet and his toes. And once those straightened up, he did well after that. Very well. Once again, I don't hear my name being spoken and, hey, this is the guy. So, but it is what it is. It's my passion. I've got to give it to as many people as possible and help as many people as possible. And I end up finding people like you that really appreciate what I do, and it makes me happy to train you and Kelsey and a couple of others. It makes me really happy because I can see the difference. I can see you guys happy with how you're moving, you're feeling better. That's a big thing for me, more than anything. But yeah, anyway, whatever. Enough with my story. I don't have anything else to say or ask.
Man,
Yeah.
that was easy.
Yeah, I'm like an easy trainer and an easy easy
I
interviewer.
wouldn't put it that way.
Yeah, I
Sometimes.
no.
You're compassionate. You're not easy. It's 2 different things.
Really? You think I'm compassionate when I train you?
Yeah. If
I
you
laugh a
know
lot.
that I feel like crap,
Oh yeah.
you're not going to say, like, just get your butt on the mat and do it.
No, that's counterproductive to me.
Right.
That I see people do that. I'm like, really? You have to. Actually, that's very interesting you said that, because I ask you guys how you're feeling, and it's not because I was going to say it's not because I really care. Because I sometimes really don't care how you're feeling. That's not what I'm asking you. I'm really asking for the purpose of what's going on. Are you good? Emotionally, physically? Give me the rundown. Because if you're like emotionally, hey, I'm not, I'll be like, okay, so take it easy. And based on how you are, like the other day when you didn't feel well, and it was just like, I gotta go. I was like, bye.
Could not.
Because I think people get caught up with what they see, how you guys suffer sometimes, and you have to fight through, and they think, oh, he's mean. Nah, I can be, but I'm not mean to be mean. I'm motivational for each individual in a different way to say, come on, this is the goal, this is where we're going, and you got to walk through this fire. Now, if you're not feeling too well, I'll adjust things so you can still get it in, but I'm not going to how can I say this? Try to force a situation that really shouldn't be forced. If you're sick, sometimes I'll say, we're done, bye.
Yeah.
I've done that plenty of times. Bye, you're sick, go home. It depends on how you're sick. I'll go rest. This is not for you, not today, because it's going to get worse. Because I've done that. There's been trainings that I've worked out while I was sick and I got better. And then there's times when I just dropped down further and was worse for the next week. Mm-hmm. So I believe a trainer should be more than just someone telling you to do, yeah, give me 5 of those, and yeah, give me 10 of those, click, click, click. It's explaining the why, like you said, and really caring about, you know how I look at it? 2 ways. When I was coming up, I didn't think they cared at all. I was just another cog in the system. And if I got hurt, I'll go to the training room. There was no real concern about what's really going on with you. And I feel that if someone wants to reach a goal, that goal becomes my goal. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, we're going to fix our back? Yay for us, because that's really what it is for me. We're going to fix our back, because now you become a part of me or a partner to me. It becomes not a project, I would say. It's like
invested.
Yes, you're like my artwork.
Yeah.
I like my artwork. It's like my kids. It's like, and this kid is beautiful, and this kid is beautiful, and
Sometimes
this one was
you got
broken.
an ugly kid. But
I get a lot of ugly kids, and they're no longer here. They shall remain nameless. I remember them well. So that's why it's hard for me to train people. And this is funny because you know me pretty well now. We've been training for what, 2 years? About which most people don't get. Trainers usually do a couple months and the person's gone. But you know me well enough to know that I love training, but I hate training. And that's a very interesting thing to say. How can he love it and hate it? If I have to train you or Kelsey, I'm fine. Even if I'm like sleepy at 4 a.m, I'll get through it. I'm not like, oh my gosh, I gotta train these 2. Shit. I'm more like, okay, I gotta be up for them because they're here and we're gonna get this. That's my mentality. That's the client I seek. It's not the pro. People what's your client? It's not the pro. It's not the young athlete. It's not anything. Because a lot of older people and people out of shape are sitting there saying to themselves, and have said to me and others, he only trains athletes. Oh, I'm not at that level. It's not about that. I need this. Mm-hmm. Do you want it? Do you want it? Yeah, I want to get in shape. No, you don't. You want to get in shape? Yeah, I do. Do you eat cheese? Oh, I love cheese. Okay, you got to stop eating cheese. Oh, I can't stop. Okay, then you're not my client. Right there, you're not my client, because you have to be able to accept certain things and be able to at least work hard towards it. I'm not going to say you're going to be perfect. No one really is. It's like I'm supposed to get back in shape. I've been saying this for what, 2 years now? And I've lifted maybe twice, started twice. Now I'm going to start again with you guys, and hopefully you can follow my journey. Hopefully I can stick with it. So I do understand everybody's thing with, it's really hard. Yes, it's hard. But do you really want this? Like now I'm at a point where I have to do it. I don't feel good anymore. Like the back fat's hurting and the knees are cracking like they never were. And you know, I'm getting the man boobs and I'm not liking it. So I've got to do something about it. Shut up and do something. Trust me, I never complain about it. I just say I'm fat. But I never complain.
It's just a fact.
Yeah, I'm fat. I got the back fat, got the belly. You know, it is what it is. I'd like to be better, but not really.
Not enough to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Not enough to go through the pain I'm putting you guys through. So yeah, I'm okay with it. So that's my thing is you got to accept who you are and where you are and be honest. That's the first thing. If you're honest with yourself and with things, everything flows so much easier. Because I don't mind if someone comes in and says, hey, listen, I want to get in shape. You wouldn't have gotten your back fixed if you were like that at all.
No.
That's too much that's a commitment. You really have to commit to dialing in and understand what I want from you in order to get what you desire. And it took about a year actually to really connect, because I remember we were here and I had you do this one pull thing. I'll never forget that. The one arm and I was like, oh my gosh, she got it. Because there's a certain breath and movement to it that I know by watching. And I'm like, that's my dog right there. Yeah. Finally, somebody is getting what I'm putting down. You're picking up what I'm putting down. It was the first time that someone truly grasped what I've been trying to teach. The connection, because it's not about pulling with anything except pulling with that back and putting everything in that back to pull. And these are just there, doing their little minimal stability and just hook. And when you begin to understand your body and connect in that way, it makes snatches and press, it makes all of that so much easier because you have much better control of your body. Oh, one of the things I want to get back to is your rock climbing is hugely beneficial to you. Hugely. It can throw you in another direction, but the way, because of how we're training and we communicate, it actually really helps. Which most of you should get into rock climbing using your hands, and you know, it develops your upper body really well. Actually, your legs as well.
Lower.
Yeah, which we were discussing the other day with all the squats I was giving you. So people complain about all the squats. I'm like, the legs are what moves you.
Right. That also goes back to feet, because your feet are in a million different positions when you're rock climbing. And if you think about the way that people traditionally train with shoes, it's very flat and you're not used to using every point of your foot. But when you're climbing, you have to be able to put it in a super awkward position or in a crack, in a very uncomfortable position, but still have the ability to like move your body laterally up, like down, wherever you need to go to get to that next hold that's going to save your life.
Which is funny because we were discussing that the other day when we were doing calves.
Yeah.
And I was saying, hey, we've got to move your foot in different awkward positions to get the calf muscle to connect with those movements as well. That's good that you said that. But the other thing is, shoes are like wearing high heels, so you're putting yourself in another situation which is not natural. So there's so many things about it, and it's funny to me because I watch trainers for the most part. I hate being called a trainer, but I watch them, and we've gone into this about how they go about picking a little niche. And it frustrates me because I'm like, okay, you're about feet and feet only. Oh, feet solve the whole thing. Okay. No, it doesn't. It's part of that. Or the breath. Wim Hof, I like him. He's actually brought things to the forefront. My breathing is a little different from his, but I like what he's doing because now people are more aware that breath is more than just or with the face thing, which Just that alone. When I see that, I'm like, you don't know what you're doing. Automatically. I don't care if you're the trainer or the client. None of you know. But anyway, that's enough of that. I can talk about a myriad of different things with regards to this, but I wanted to thank you, Hannah, for being here, and I'm going to put this on the internet, and everybody's going to be critiquing you and criticizing and all that, and yeah, hopefully you don't get fired. So
Thanks.
let's go from there.
Wish me luck, everyone.
Yeah, got to be careful what you say here, because I'll put the fucks and the shits all on the internet. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this and learned something from it. And if you have scoliosis, that would be great. Give me some talks, some calls, contact me. I'll tell you what I think online or what have you. Visually, of course, I have to see what's going on. I can help as many people as I can. It's not an easy thing by any means, and there's a lot of protocols involved, especially if you know what she really does. You'll understand it's kind of like a part-time job. If you're not stretching seriously for at least an hour, you're not serious. And this is daily, and it's everything. And it takes time to go through it. She's been doing it most of her life, so it's kind of like brushing her teeth. You guys have to develop a similar mentality in order to get there. My take on it is the majority of it is muscle situation, because the bone doesn't move usually without the muscle. Now there are situations where it is, a genetic thing where your bone is like, nah, I'm going this way. And those are different. But for the most part, muscle pulls on bone. And if you stabilize them, balance them, same with the fascia and all of that, and you get better with your breathing, and your weight training is how it should be, you can at least bring it back somewhat. So I'd rather have somewhat brought back than none, or surgery. So anyway, that's that, and I'll talk to you guys next time. I'll figure out what to name these things and how to do this as time goes on. So, all right, bye.